families.
Wow.
Thania is a descendant of Tuan Guru.
The people who are the threats, who they consider the threats, are always the ones who, you know.
I think those are your black sheeps right there.
Mm-hmm.
The black sheeps are the ones that's considered a threat. They didn't do nothing. They just did everything they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And it goes against the grain because it's things that people don't necessarily go out there to try to do themselves. But when they see you doing it, it's like, you're doing too much.
You're doing too much.
You're making too much noise. You're making too much noise.
Let's take it back.
What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. Super excited about this video. If you're new to us
and we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell.
Because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
The sun rises over Cape Town as Thania and her mother Nagla prepare morning tea and co-sisters. Sweet sticky donuts covered in coconut crumbles,
I like some
a traditional
donuts.
Cape Malay delicacy. Today, they are setting out to visit what's left of Cape Town's District 6. It was once a bustling multi-ethnic neighbourhood near the city centre, where many Cape Malays lived, including Thania's mother. In 1966, it was declared a white area by the apartheid government. Over the next 16 years, more than 60,000 people would be expelled to outlying areas, like Cape Flats, where Thania's family lives now.
I only have good memories. I remember streets filled with kids. All kinds of smells, from fish to fruits. You could even smell the sea if the wind blows. It was like a melting pot of different cultures, I would say. Before all the apartheid laws took over, my father decided to move. I was young when we left. We moved before the bulldozers came in.
Wow.
Their houses in District 6 were flattened.
My father lost his businesses there, lost his home, everything.
Today, they search for traces of Nagla's old home. A barren land and atmosphere. District 6 remains a visible scar on Cape Town's landscape.
My parents were very politically active and they fought through the political struggle of apartheid in South Africa. And I mean, it tore our home apart, tore our lives apart. My father was a political exile and he ended up moving to the UK when I was 4 or 5 years old. So, I mean, our whole lives have been intertwined with the apartheid sagas.
Under apartheid.
Okay, so we knew of the Cape Malays. I believe that we did maybe one video on the Cape Malay. It was about the cooking styles.
Okay, yeah.
So I think I confused the Cape Malays with the coloreds and I grouped them together. That's what I think in my head. Because it's so much to keep up with. I didn't realize that the Cape Malays was in the group of everybody else.
Right, doing apartheid.
Yeah, I thought it was colored mixed together. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to keep up with everything. And to have their homes and businesses.
It's a melting pot, man. It was so many different cultures. It was like she said, it was all together.
Yeah, but to have it torn down, you don't think of the businesses. You know, you think of the homes. They're relocating the people. But the people who have businesses in these communities, like, the people got to start all over.
All over, man. That's tough, bro. Because at that time, I mean, until this day, like, we're dealing with a group of selfish people. And we're dealing with a group of selfless people. People that's going to really look at others and serve them and help them and do what they can.
Yeah.
And then you got people that just come in and take.
Take.
Yeah, that's different, man. That's like I said, I can imagine having my home ripped down, bro. Like I'm just looking around, like, just taken from you.
Everything you worked so hard to attain, you know.
Part of the Cape Malay community remained in nearby suburb Bo-Kaap, where Thania's forefathers established themselves.
Bo-Kaap was like the slave quarters and also the Malay quarters.
Declared a Cape Malay area, the suburb was spared the bulldozers, history preserved. Today, its brightly coloured houses line cobblestone streets as Table Mountain looms in the distance. Beautiful now, the history here is complex. As the Dutch began colonising portions of Southeast Asia in the 17th century, they exiled locals opposing their rule and sent them to work as slaves at the Dutch trading post in Cape Town, which they also occupied at the time. These political and religious exiles came from all socio-economic backgrounds. Some were even royal.
We are taught that we were just slaves. That is what history teaches us here in South Africa. But what I discovered was that these exiles that were brought here from Indonesia by the Dutch were actually aristocrats, and they were royalty, and they were educated, and they were also incredibly influential. That is why they posed such a huge threat to the Dutch colonial rule of Indonesia. And because of this threat, they were brought here and put into exile far, far away from their homes and their families.
Wow.
Thania is a
That's
descendant of Tuan Guru.
The people who are the threats, who they consider the threats, are always the ones who, you know.
I think those are your black sheeps right there. The black sheeps are the ones that's considered a threat. They didn't do nothing. They just did everything they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And it goes against the grain because it's things that people don't necessarily go out there to try to do themselves. But when they see you doing it, it's like, you're doing too much.
You're doing too much.
You're making too much noise. You're making too much noise.
Let's take it back.
Bro, that's tough, bro. Like,
Yeah.
people not doing nobody nothing.
Nothing, just living.
Being who they was called to be. Being great.
Yeah.
Meaning master teacher in the Cape Malay dialect, an important founding father of Islam in South Africa.
Tuan Guru was a prince from Indonesia.
He was exiled from Indonesia in 1780 for his staunch opposition to Dutch colonialism. For 12 years he was imprisoned on Robben Island,
12 years.
later made infamous by Nelson Mandela's imprisonment. Tuan Guru spent that time writing the Quran from memory, creating Bo-Kaap's first library of Islamic text. After his release, he founded the Awal, South Africa's first recognised mosque.
I always knew that I was a direct descendant of Tuan Guru because it's something that my father had traced back many years ago when he did our family tree. But what I did not know was that he was royalty.
This discovery gave Thania a strong desire to document her heritage, not only as Cape Malay, but as someone with a royal legacy, through an art project, appropriately named I Am Royal.
Well, I started physically doing it a year and a half ago, but I think I started it in my mind a while ago. It just needed to be done.
She created a series of photographs of herself in traditional Cape Malay outfits, demonstrating the passage of her ancestors through time.
That's
Y'all
nice.
gonna have
Okay.
to send us some Cape Malay stuff now, because this our first time even seeing traditional Cape Malay attire. So y'all gotta send us stuff.
Look at the different expressions she offers when she figure out who she is.
Powerful.
That's powerful. That's why it's important to know who you are, know where you come from, know
Yep.
your heritage, your lineage,
Yep.
know your ancestral tree. Because once you understand who you are, your purpose is so much more easy to tap into, and you know where you don't belong. You know where you're not supposed to be. You know the places that you don't want to poke your head around because you have a mission that you need to accomplish.
Yes.
Look at this, bro. She like changed up her whole swag.
Yep.
She's saying, she's like, I always knew. Something was in me. I
I
always knew.
felt the need to identify us because everybody keeps calling us slaves, and I think that we were much more than slaves.
more.
We actually have a legacy behind us and something to be proud of. In my project, I followed our historical trajectory from where we were and to where we've come. What I used was
Royalty.
regalia. I got dressed up in everything that we want to be seen in. I went to the Indonesian embassy and I got all these amazing costumes which are synonymous with royalty, aristocracy, because this is how I want us to be remembered. I think that a lot of people have now started delving into their own past and finding out,
Yeah.
was my family really that good? Was my family really this? Was my really, you know, and yeah,
It was
seems
bigger
to
than
be
slavery.
making some kind of a difference
It was bigger
somewhere.
than slavery.
For those in the Cape Malay community, most of their narrative is passed down through word of mouth. In Bo-Kaap, one woman is the memory keeper.
I was born in this house.
That's what's
My
up.
parents lived in this house and all the children were born in this house. This is my mother and my youngest brother. He lives in London. He's a school teacher.
Do y'all think
And
that she would have known about this lady, the memory keeper, had she not tapped into her ancestry, her heritage? Did the memory keeper know this lady was coming?
I don't know, because she said that her dad moved to the UK. So she was brought up in the UK.
Yeah.
So I thought they was going to show the lady who's always cooking and showing
Okay,
about the
they could
history
have.
in Bo-Kaap.
Could have got our
But this
mouth
a whole
watering.
different lady, so...
I feel like, though, the memory keeper, about her being true to who she knows she was, and she held on to it, she put herself in position to have the door open for this young lady here. So when she finally
She
do
did.
enter her home, she had everything already set up.
Right.
You know,
She's
you
the
get what I'm
memory
saying?
keeper.
She's the memory keeper. She operated.
and this is my father's sister. It was this wonderful feeling of one family, and that is something really great.
As the informal community archivist,
Hold on, I got a question because, you know, I have a good memory.
You do.
So, the Costa, the lady it's another lady in Bo-Kaap who does the cooking. Her last name, if I'm not mistaken, is the Costa too. So
I don't remember. I just want to let y'all
I'm
know
asking the
don't.
people.
Okay, I just don't remember.
So let us know about the last names, about the slave history concerning your people. Did you all take on the last names?
That's
Just
important.
like
Ooh,
our
yeah.
people took on the last names of the people we were enslaved by. And some people have a problem with me saying we. I speak for the people that I'm descendant from. So
100%. And I too.
So let us know about the last name. Or did y'all change your last names? How some of our people changed our last
Yeah,
names.
because we have people out here who actually give up their American name. They say, this is not my name.
Right.
And they go to, because we call it your government name. And
Yep.
or your cheese name.
Cheese.
Government cheese.
Okay. I don't know that one.
I don't know either. I heard it before. But yeah, then they change their name. They go get their whole birth certificate redid. And they put their African or their heritage name where they're usually from. And yeah, bro, people do that.
Yeah, so let us know.
she has tales and photos to go with them.
I always wanted to know more about the history of things and reserve things for one day. And I've always been collecting things and keeping. That is my elder sister and her husband. In our culture, we still have this sort of togetherness, and that's why I'm still very attached to this
She looked like a
area of Bo-Kaap. Still living here, still enjoying it.
beautiful documentary.
Yeah, that was fire.
That is
That
very
was fire.
beautiful.
That's fire.
Yeah,
I love
so-
journeys, man. I love going down the journey. There's always someone down that path waiting for you, and she was waiting for the lady to come in. That's what's up. I like
Yeah.
that.
So just when we thought we knew the gist of South Africa,
Oh, that's so much more.
so much more.
So much more.
So much more. So send us some Cape Malay reaction videos to do. We hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our super thanks if you'd like to support the channel that way, as well as our reaction request form is in our description box below. We'll see you soon.
Peace.